Christie called a hypocrite for seeking COVID treatment after saying people were gonna have to accept deaths removed. The average person can't be hospitalized as a precaution. Both him and Trump have been hospitalized for care to head off complications. That's not what we get. We have to be bad enough to warrant admission. Yeah, he's a fucking hypocrite. Just like his day at the beach, when it was closed to the public, stunt. He'll gatekeep us, but he'll take his privileges in a fevered heartbeat. He stuck around Trump even after he was kicked to the curb. Just another politician who is willing to do anything to be near power. Now it seems that he is paying the price for kissing the great big orange ass. Republicans wanted to sacrifice the weak to reopen the country. Now they want our sympathy. https://imager.com/nsdsc6s. JPG. I guess, per him, if anyone passes away from that super spreader event, people are just going to have to accept it. So, how many of you out there have the luxury, or the ability, for that matter, of choosing to check yourself into a hospital anytime you're concerned about your health? Hope and pray that he doesn't get stuck in a political retribution traffic jam on the way to the hospital. I don't think people like Christie realize that people in similar situations are turned away from the ER unless they are almost on death's door or about to go on a vent. Christie is rightfully concerned about his chances since he's overweight and has asthma. If he wasn't such a prominent figure, he would have to wait it out at home until his oxygen levels started dipping or he was gasping for air. You can't help but feel infuriated at the double standard. Isn't this the same guy that partied on the beach with his family after shutting it down to the public? Removed. Christie is the biggest hypocrite. Well, he also went to a state beach, after his government closed them for shutdown. So this entitlement is nothing new. https://www. com/usnews/2017/Jules/03/New Jersey Beach shut for everyone bar Christie and family. Cut him some slack, he obviously didn't mean his death. /s. I'm surprised he isn't trying to sew his lungs shut so the virus can't get through. No, you misunderstood. You can die. I get to live. The hospital should have told him to go home and quarantine for mild symptoms like my in-laws were told to do when they contacted COVID from my mother-in-law working at the hospital treating COVID patients. Fuck these hypocritical shitty Republican Christians. Other people were gonna have to accept it so he could still go out and eat a cheeseburger. Don't worry, Christie, when you were talking about other human beings dying it was perfectly socially acceptable, but now that it's about you and yours, society has installed a bunch of new social etiquette rules that will protect your little fifis from reality. It's good to be part of the protected class. Still waiting to find a single decent Republican who isn't a total piece of shit. I've been looking for years. The Republican Party is garbage and deserves to die of the coronavirus. Not each politician personally, don't get worked up. This ideology that allows them to be such horrendous hypocrites and cowards either benefiting from or enabling corruption deserves to rot. I'm not sure how any self-respecting Republican that isn't wholly corrupt can accept this behavior. All you Christians that support this are going to your own hell. I don't even believe in that shit, but your hypocrisy is obvious to simple mortals, so I doubt your God will be fooled. More than voting them out, we all need to remember that their shitty ideology lost control and even the best principles they had were overwhelmed by greed and lust for power. If you care about any of the principles that the Republican Party used to stand for, you may want to start trying to disentangle them from traitor Trump and the scumbag GOP's corruption. Well, the poor will need to accept their deaths. Duh. Just stop being poor, everybody. Sheesh. /s. I bet when he lectured the rest of us that there are going to be deaths, https://www. CNN.com/2020/05/04/politics/Christie coronavirus deaths reopening/index. HTML, he wasn't thinking about himself. I wonder if the mods of this sub are so Trump supportive that they'll ban me for pointing out his words in a thread about his words. Watch this space. The calls for civility are fucking stupid and manipulative. These scumbags say shit like the only good Democrat's a dead Democrat or the blue states had tremendous death rates, he said. If you take the blue states out, we are at a level I don't think anybody in the world would be at. I think we should all be free to say the meanest shit we can come up with in response. I'm keeping a list of anti-mask plague rats that die of the virus for my own morbid arguments. Remember Herman Cain? How about Bill Montgomery? People are gonna try and say I'm fucked up for this, but I'm arguing with my anti-mask plague rat co-workers that believe this garbage from traitor Trump and his lying Republican stooges. They didn't just lie about the virus, they lied in a way that convinced every fucking moron around US that it was fake. These fuckers caused a plague. Why the fuck should we be nice? I sure hope every single Republican at that Rose Garden party doesn't die. He's called a hypocrite because he is one. You enjoying your socialist government paid health care coverage? New Jersey native here, Christie is indeed a selfish piece of shit. Anyone remember the beach closure? Hypocrite. Pure evil, from the top on down. Fuck these money grabbers. As a New Jersey resident, I will never forgive him for Bridgegate and for going on the beach when they were closed to the general public. Title describes the whole fucking Republican Party. Also, millions of COVID sick people have been turned away from hospitals and told to come back if it gets worse. Meanwhile, the wealthy and powerful check themselves in as a precaution with no symptoms. It's been a long road toward peace and acceptance, but I think we're finally in a place where we accept Christie's death. You can't spell hypocrite without G. O. P. People will have to accept their death. I won't be accepting the potential for my own death. Christie, probably. Per his guidance, I have accepted his death. Feels good to have skipped all that anger, denial, and bargaining stuff. I've already accepted his death, although I do not wish it upon him. It's fake till it happens to me or someone I know. I believe what they've taught me is fuck your feelings, snowflake. Christie must understand his risk given his extreme morbid obesity. They should have closed the bridges between him and the hospital. I meant deaths for you all, not for me. I'm someone. The entire Republican Party is full of hypocrites. Not a single one of them has any shred of dignity or honor. Fuck this fat piece of shit. Remember when this fat sack of shit wanted to school us on how marijuana smokers have no self-control? In consultation with my doctors, I checked myself into Morristown Medical Center this afternoon, Christie said on Twitter. While I am feeling good and only have mild symptoms, due to my history of asthma, we decided this is an important precautionary measure. I wish I was that rich. It's different when you are trembling for your own balls. Just give him some gabagool. Christie called a hypocrite for seeking COVID treatment after saying people were gonna have to accept deaths, but not his fat ass. Who's calling him a hypocrite? I've been calling him a piece of shit. For something no worse than the flu that's a Democratic hoax and will go away like a miracle, these top Republicans are sure taking drastic measures for themselves. Something that Mr. Christie said struck me as ludicrous. Are there ways that we can tread the middle here to allow that there are going to be deaths and there are going to be deaths no matter what? It's ludicrous because wearing a mask and practicing social distancing so that people can still work and study is the middle ground, and it is the solution that will still end up with some deaths because masks are not perfect. But what Mr. Christie advocates is not the middle. It is the extreme case of reopening where people are packed into social spaces and workplaces almost like normal. He thinks that this will bring the economy back to normal, but it is going to have the opposite effect where people will fall sick, thus incurring medical expenses, or die and exit the labor force.